afternoon. I am Cheryl Long, the Dean of Meredith College's School of Education, Health, and Human Sciences, and I am joined here on stage by Dr. Joe Mazzola, Professor and Director of the Industrial Organizational Psychology Program, Dr. Jenna McChesney, Assistant Professor of Industrial Organizational Psychology, by Dr. Diane Robenheimer, Director of Research Planning and Assessment, seated in the front row, and also in the front row, Dr. Monica McKinney, Professor of Education and Director of Graduate Programs. I am delighted to welcome you to the 2025 Master of Arts in Industrial Organizational Psychology Hooding Ceremony. To our guests, the family and friends of our master's degree candidates, I thank you for joining us today. And I want to take this moment to honor your role in their successes. Your support, encouragement, and belief in these graduates have played a vital role in their educational experiences, and we honor your part in this achievement. To our exceptional Meredith College faculty and staff, I thank you for your commitment, mentorship, and investment in our students. Your guidance has helped them to become skilled professionals and thoughtful leaders who will make meaningful contributions in their chosen fields. And to our graduate students, thank you. Thank you for giving us this reason to celebrate. Thank you for your curiosity, your determination, and your perseverance. These qualities have brought you to this specific moment, a moment in which we recognize and honor your hard work, your growth, and your accomplishments. Today, we celebrate not just the culmination of their studies here at Meredith, but also the beginning of a new chapter with opportunity, impact, and continued discovery. Welcome to you all, and to our graduates, congratulations. Pleasure of introducing our graduate student speaker, Leah Howard. Leah completed her undergraduate degree at the University of South Carolina Upstate and then continued her education here at Meredith College. As a first-year graduate student, she was selected to participate in the PSYOP consulting case competition along with IO students from different graduate programs. She and her team placed first in this competition. Leah enjoys solving complex issues for organizations. She also understands the importance of building positive interpersonal connections, and she created opportunities for her classmates to build these connections by frequently organizing Sunday socials in her home. Leah. Oh!
Sure picked a crazy time to graduate, didn't we? Because I'm me, and because I can't avoid reflecting deeply to save my life, and because the world feels so bonkers lately, I've been thinking a lot about uncertainty. The uncertainty of life in general, and the particular uncertainties facing each of us. The job market's currently in flux. Some of us are moving soon, and starting the next chapter of our lives in new homes, new cities, and even new countries. And relationships that either started or flourished while we were on this journey together are changing shape. Career, home, cherished connections. For all of us, at least one of the three major elements that weave together along with so many others to create a satisfying life are in flux right now, a state of transition. And that can feel really terrifying. But remember that first major graduate level project in Jenna's job analysis class? And how uncertain we all felt? How Jenna tried to encourage us to embrace the ambiguity because those are real life conditions on the job. If we had to do that same project again today, we would feel a lot more certain how to tackle it without all of that initial panic because the truth is we're more capable now. Although the ambiguity would still be there, in these past 2 years, we've grown to be better able to handle the unknown. A lot of this growth happened through readings, lectures, and projects. We've gathered important insights on satisfaction and performance from articles and books and podcasts. We've learned how to perform statistical analyses, how to create psychometrically sound surveys, and how to use motivation, or how to make sense of motivation using theories like the job characteristics theory or Vroom's expectancy theory. All of us can tell a good story from data using clear and effective visualizations. We've been equipped with a selection of knowledge and skills that look very good on a resume and will make a meaningful difference in the workplaces we enter for the rest of our lives. And we get this lovely ceremony to celebrate all of the many accomplishments that are rolled up in that phrase, master's degree. Along the way, though, there were other accomplishments that few, if any, will ever wholly know about. Not a single one of us knows how many times the rest of us couldn't help but cry tears of frustration, overwhelm, or exhaustion. Or how many times we thought about turning back and trying for something that was a little less difficult to achieve, a little less fraught with self-doubt. Yet we trudged on anyway. And only we personally know how nervous we were to speak up, to ask for help, or to lean into our group and trust that they would hold us up when we stumbled. Yet we did those things anyway. There's no counting all the moments we were challenged to stay open and adaptable and curious as we worked with people whose visions and views and ways of working were different from our own. Yet we got out of our comfort zones and collaborated anyway. And it is these accomplishments, the ones that we would likely dismiss as hardly even counting if someone pointed them out, that are going to help us navigate whatever comes next. It's our own resilience, tenacity, endurance, and creativity that will help us navigate the unknown. And it's also the trusted community that we have in each other, with Joe and Jenna and Doreen, that will keep us in supportive company on that journey. As we step into whatever comes next, I hope we each remember what we did here in this program, what we received from the cohort and from Joe and Jenna and Doreen and our other instructors, what we offered to each other. May we bring the gentle, authentic kindness of Jenna to any encounter with anybody in a panic. The lightheartedness of Joe with all his memes, trivia, and dad jokes to the moments when things get heavy, and Doreen's dedicated determination to help us be ready for every opportunity to those seeking our guidance on their way to becoming more. I am unbelievably grateful for these years with you. Let's keep doing the difficult, worthwhile things. Let's keep going. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My first order of business up here is to present our Excellence in Leadership Award. Every year when I present this, I start by saying that every one of these students are leaders, and I would give them all an award if I could. It's probably redundant to keep saying it, but you all aren't here every year. So I want to make sure that you know it and that they know it, that we couldn't be more prouder of you, and we know you all go out and lead in ways both big and small. We've always defined leadership for this award very broadly. Sometimes it happens in the classroom, sometimes outside of it. Sometimes it's behind the scenes, and others it's more upfront and obvious. This year's recipient demonstrated exceptional initiative and follow-through throughout her time in the program. Academically, her work was consistently stellar, thorough, organized, insightful, and exceptionally well communicated. The type of student where you look forward to grading their work. While not always the most vocal in class, she made thoughtful contributions to discussion with a consistently positive and professional attitude. She embodies the qualities of a quiet leader, reliable, grounded, and someone who works hard without expectation of reward or recognition. She held an executive leadership position in our student organization, MIOP, and truly went above and beyond in her performance. As part of her role, she took the lead in enhancing our peer mentoring program by creating a formal mentoring contract and organizing a summer session for mentors efforts that will have a long-lasting impact on our program for years to come. From the outset, she expressed a strong interest in applying IO psychology to K-12 education and took it upon herself to find and secure an internship with KIPP, North Carolina Public Schools, where she continues to contribute as a talent and people operations intern. Finally, most recently, I had the pleasure of personally watching her be part of a group that put together an excellent stress management program training to present to a local nonprofit that will help their employees reduce stress and burnout levels. I'm excited to have the opportunity to present the Class of 2025 Leadership Award to Madeline Hines. As I think this class of graduating students will tell you, as from what Leah mentioned of my memes and dad jokes, I tend to be pretty self-deprecating and I don't really like to brag about myself too often. But every once in a while I do have a brilliant idea, and I'd like to share one recent one with you that is relevant to this class. A few weeks ago I noticed the students were pretty stressed out about the end of the semester, so I decided to replace their usual final exam with a single question. How are you different now than you were 2 years ago? I wanted to give them the chance to reflect on all they'd done and learned in their time in the program, and really think about the skills they possess as they head out to new jobs or onto the job market. When I saw their faces light up about the idea of answering this instead of a boring old test, I knew it was a good idea. When I got the opportunity to read their lovely and heartfelt responses, again, instead of boring old content questions, I realized it was a great idea. And as brilliant ideas tend to do, this one kept giving, because the other day it hit me. What a perfect way to reflect on this cohort, by sharing with you all the common threads of how your children, grandchildren, siblings, nieces, nephews, family, friends, etc. have grown in the last 18 months, but in their own words. They have gained a large amount of knowledge, skills, and abilities in IO psychology and beyond. More than I can possibly list, but these individuals are prepared to help organizations hire the best employees, increase employee health and safety, create training and development courses, and develop excellent surveys, just to name a few. Whether they wanted to or not, they all became experts in, or at least competent at, statistical analysis. They have gained confidence, learned adaptability, and improved their patience. They've also learned how not to be perfect and to avoid taking on everything themselves. These can be hard lessons to learn, especially in a world that's always telling us to do more with less. They also said how much they want to thank their faculty, staff, family, and friends. So know that if you are sitting in this room, you are a part of their success today. They have shed their imposter syndrome. So many of you said that you sat in orientation not knowing if you belonged or if you could handle what was to come. We told you then that you did belong and that you could do it, and even if it took 18 months, we welcome you to the club that know that now too. I can't promise that imposter syndrome won't rear its ugly head again as you head into your next chapter, but hopefully you've learned a thing or two about curing it quicker this time. A few mentioned being 2 years older. Technically true. But from somebody who finished their master's about 2 decades ago now, I say, just wait. Many of them found their voices, and I can attest that some voices were pretty quiet to start, but not anymore. And as you head out there, especially as a program that's particularly proud for how many strong female leaders we send out, and that female leaders are all too often told to lead quietly, I hope you'll be very loud. And perhaps my favorite, they have made lifelong friends. This is not at all surprising because we recruit people who want to be collaborative and we foster a culture of helping the person next to you. But I know their bonds have been further strengthened by some of the long nights and challenging courses that they had to go through together. I know many of you will stay in touch with people next to you for years to come, and as you do, please post on social media if you want to watch. Related to this, many of you have learned how to ask for help. None of us are an island, and we can't reach our goals and make the differences we want without help from those that we trust and love. We, as your faculty and staff, have had a front row seat to watching all of you develop that trust and love with one another, and I can honestly say it's one of the best movies I've ever watched. Speaking of movies, every year I include a movie quote in my graduation speech because, quite frankly, I'm a big nerd, and these 16 people would be disappointed if I didn't. So after racking my brain long and hard, I decided to use one of my favorite lines from the 1990s alien movie classic, Men in Black. As Tommy Lee Jones is helping Will Smith deal with the fact that he learned aliens are real. In the movie, of course. I mean, unless the truth is out there. And the quote goes, 1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat. And 15 minutes ago, you knew that humans were alone on this planet. Imagine what we'll know tomorrow. I use this quote for two reasons. First, as I've been telling you, or we've all been telling you the last 2 years, you're not only io-psychologist practitioners, you're also io-psychology scientists. And this time where understanding and promoting science is more important than ever, we send you out to help organizations follow best practices based on those scientific findings, continue to push for scientific innovation, speak out against ideas that don't serve organizations and their employees, and ultimately make work life better for the people you serve. And the second reason is to remind you that your education does not end today. If anything, your education is a preteen at best. As you go forward from here today, I hope you continue to crave new knowledge, skills, and ability. Every new job, project, and challenge is a chance to learn something new. And as long as you keep your mind open and ready to integrate and consider new information, then imagine what you'll know tomorrow. And importantly, in that tomorrow, you will all be masters of io-psychology. In fact, that'll happen in a few minutes. So let's bring up Dr. Jenna McShedney so we can begin the presentation to the graduates.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here to celebrate the 2025 graduates of Meredith College's io-psychology graduate program. Whether you came today from across the country, across the world, or just down the street, we're so glad that you could join us today. My name is Dr. Jenna McShedney, as Dr. Joe Mazzola just mentioned, and over the past couple of years, I've had the privilege of teaching these graduates, not just in 1 or 2 classes, but several. And so today is a little bit bittersweet for me. I'm excited for them and their next steps, but I also know that we're gonna miss them a ton next year. So as I was preparing to announce their names and bring them up to the stage, I asked them to also share some reflections of their time here. So I will be announcing each graduate by name, as well as sharing a short note about their favorite memory and what's next for them. Once they reach the platform, they'll be hooded and then they'll receive their diploma. So if you could hold your applause for when they receive that diploma, that would be wonderful. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our first graduate, Alyssa Bodkin. While enrolled in the program, Alyssa worked as an HR intern for the Interfaith Food Shuttle in her first year, and as an asset management intern for the City of Durham in her second year. Her favorite memory includes grabbing coffee or snacks with her other students and sharing side conversations in class. She says that these small, informal moments made the overall experience feel connected and fun. After graduation, she will be joining AmeriCorps as a marketing and media coordinator with Porch Communities. Congratulations, Alyssa. Next up, we have Alexander Hardman. Alec entered the program as a senior program manager of employee listening at Nike and was promoted to lead listening analyst last year. When reflecting on the past 2 years, he shared that it's hard to choose just one favorite moment, but he's most grateful for the strong bond formed within the cohort. From birthday celebrations and holiday parties to weddings and brick house nights, the group created something truly inclusive, and he's proud to have been part of that. After graduation, Alec will be moving to Portland to continue his career at Nike. Congratulations, Alec. Madeline Hobbs. Madeline has spent the last year working as a talent and people operations intern for KIPP North Carolina Public Schools, where, among other things, she designed and launched a teacher mentorship program to support educator retention and development. Her favorite memory from the program was going to Italy. She said that living in the palazzo, making homemade pizza, starting each day with cappuccinos and croissants alongside some of her favorite people made it an unforgettable experience. After graduation, she plans to stay in the Raleigh area and is currently seeking a position in training and development, talent acquisition, or employee retention. And she's going to be getting married in September. Congratulations, Madeline. Isabel Holbrook. While enrolled in the program, Isabel began a Leadership and Organizational Development Fellowship with FMI to provide support to their team and team of leadership consultants. Her favorite memory is when her cohort gave passion talks in class during her first semester. She loved learning about everyone in the cohort and seeing what they care about outside of the program. Upon graduating, Isabel will continue her work with FMI and looks forward to having some extra time to spend with her family and partner. Congratulations, Isabel. Leah Sonona Howard. Leah completed her internship with GSP Transportation, where she focused on recruiting, selection, and learning and development initiatives. She said that her most meaningful memory was the outpouring of support from her cohort after winning the 2024 SIOP Consulting Challenge. She says their support then and throughout these past 2 years has been incredible. After graduation, she plans to stay in the area and is looking forward to having more time and energy to explore the Triangle while helping make workplaces better for the people in them. Congratulations, Leah. Bola Ramsey Iskander. While enrolled in the program, Bola interned in the Research Planning and Assessment Office here at Meredith College, where he supported the creation, distribution, analysis, and reporting of survey data to help inform decision-making at the college. His favorite memory is grabbing a drink with his professors in Italy, and he is currently employed as an onboarding coordinator at HTI, where he will continue after graduation. Congratulations, Bola. Madison Keys. This past year, Madison worked in the Meredith College Residence Life Department as a residence director at Poteet Hall. Her favorite memories include going on runs between class during her first year, getting ice cream, coffee, going to Brick House, and even Sephora with her classmates was always a really fun time. She has recently accepted a role as National Training Specialist with Fathom Realty. And in the future, she plans to pursue a PhD and still has her sights on living in New York City someday. Congratulations, Madison. Jamie Elizabeth Ramirez Fuentes. Jamie completed her internship at Industrial as a People's Operations Experience intern, where she supported key HR initiatives including talent acquisition, employee engagement, and compliance. A favorite memory of hers was attending SIOP and RCIO, which are 2 conferences, and bonding with classmates outside of class at events like Brick House, happy hours, and karaoke nights. After graduation, she'll continue working full-time as a junior HR associate for Sync Fusion in Morrisville, while exploring new hobbies and maybe even getting a puppy. She also hopes to work on research projects in her spare time. Congratulations, Jamie. Alexandra Christine Shadle. Alex served as a talent acquisition intern at the State Employees Credit Union, where she got to co-lead the internship program and support her team with recruitment. Her favorite memory was when her cohort was studying abroad in Italy and they all found a place to get chicken nuggets. After graduation, she will be converting to a full-time position at SECU as a part of their talent acquisition team. Congratulations, Alex. Audrey Taylor. Audrey wore many hats during her time in the program, including serving as a research planning and assessment intern at Meredith College, where she analyzed student survey data and created visualizations and reports for campus leadership. When asked about her favorite memories, 2 moments stood out: celebrating Alex's wedding, which brought her cohort even closer together, and her senior night on the soccer field, where she spotted her mentee cheering from the crowd. Both reminded her of the power of connection and how meaningful relationships are, how they are just as valuable as what they learn in the classroom. After graduation, Audrey will be moving to Paris and beginning her job search. Congratulations, Audrey. Sarah Ellen Tolbert. While enrolled in the program, Sarah served as an HR technician with the NC DPS Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, and recently received a promotion. Game nights in Italy with classmates and professors were a highlight for Sarah. She said it was the perfect way to relax and connect after some of her busier days. She will be continuing on with the NCDPS Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Center after graduation. Congratulations, Sarah. Auditorium. Sarah completed her internship at UNC Chapel Hill, and one of her favorite memories is attending the holiday parties at Joe's house each year. She is currently actively applying to IO-related professional positions and is excited for the next steps in her career. Congratulations, Sarah. Aspen Wood. While enrolled in the program, Aspen Wood completed an internship in talent management at Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina. One of her favorite memories from the program was meeting everyone at orientation for the first time, as well as game nights in Italy. Looking ahead, Aspen plans to continue to pursue a career in talent management. Congratulations, Aspen. Mabel Yancey. While enrolled in the program, Mabel worked as an organizational effectiveness and leadership development intern for Spectrum. Her favorite memories include the exam study sessions with her cohort, filled with shared stress, lots of laughter, and the kind of support that made even the toughest moments more manageable. She is now actively pursuing a career in IO psychology that will leverage her graduate degree. Congratulations, Mabel. Each year, students in our program can choose to complete a master's thesis, either alongside or instead of an internship, depending on their goals and their interests. This year, our final two graduates chose to take on a thesis, a path that involves a lot of independent research and writing. We're so proud of the work that they've done, and we're excited to share just a little bit about these projects. So first up, we have Ye Candy Chin. Candy studied the topic of involution in her thesis, a concept related to voluntary competition between employees in the workplace, how it related to more established concepts like autonomy and feedback, and whether it is experienced differently between Chinese and American employees. One of her favorite memories from the program was hanging out for the first time with Jamie outside of class. And Candy is currently looking for a job in the IO field and hopes to stay in the US. Congratulations, Candy. So now I'd like to welcome Joe back to the podium to announce our final graduate, who also happens to be my thesis advisee, so I can have the honor of putting her. Thank you, Joe.
Vanessa Snedeker. Vanessa's thesis examined perceptions of women disclosing postpartum depression, or PPD, on LinkedIn, contributing to the broader discourse on mental health disclosure in professional settings. Her study found that this form of disclosure increased perceptions of authenticity, particularly for women in leadership roles. Vanessa is most grateful for the people this program brought into her life, mentors, peers, and now lifelong friends. From study sessions and conferences to celebrating milestones, traveling to Italy, and brickhouse nights after class, these are the memories she will always hold close. She is continuing her education this fall as a doctoral student in IO psychology at Penn State University. It would be much appreciated if you would give our graduates one last round of applause. In just a second, we're going to excuse everyone. When we do, if parents and guests could make their way to the Kate lobby, which is to the right, to grab a glass of sparkling cider, and we will meet you all there for congratulatory toasts given by our own Ella Cardman. Graduates, if you could stay on stage for some professional pictures, and we ask the families to hold individual photos until after the toast. And finally, grads, don't forget to pick up your grad gift bags from the check-in table where you came in. Thank you all for coming. We look forward to seeing you in the reception area.